Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be taking on the all for one climax battle. What climax battles are is basically they take a unit that's in the game and they buff that unit up and turn them into a boss, kind of like how they do the infiltrate bosses in 1 Justice 2, like how they take a character in that game, they buff them up and turn them into a boss. It's kind of like that. So this is his re-release. He was already a climax battle before, and I have beaten him before, but the reason why I want to make a video about this, even though I've beaten him before, is because I just want to showcase how hard these climax battles are. I think they're extremely difficult, and I like that. I like how extremely difficult they are. They give a sort of challenge in the game, and it's a pretty rewarding challenge. You get a lot of great items if you beat him, on top of getting a free UR version of him. So the plan is we're going to take on the hardest difficulty of all for one, and we're going to hopefully beat him, so let's get into it. So the hardest difficulty is class SS, and when you beat this for the first time, you actually get the UR all for one when you beat this difficulty. So yeah, that's why I want to showcase this one off, because it's like the most important, because you get the free UR. So let's dive into it. Here is the team I have assembled for it. Those are the characters I'm running and those are the memories I'm running. So let's just dive into this battle now. Here we go. Here's his intro. It looks really cool. So something interesting you'll notice right away is All For One actually has dialogue directed at Fantasy Todoroki. The dialogue is, just like I scripted, but now your time as an actor is up. And then Fantasy Todoroki would say, you demon of evil, today is the day you die. And I think that's interesting because, to my knowledge, Fantasy Todoroki is the only character that has this interaction with him. And it's also funny because this is the character that everyone said was required for this event during like its first run. So, you know, coincidence? I think not. But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I could have completely missed other character interactions because, you know, it's so hard to run any other character, or at least before it was so hard to run any other character during this event. It was really required to run Fantasy Todoroki. But let me know down in the comments below if there are any other characters that have any other interactions with All For One, because like I said, I've only seen Fantasy Todoroki have this type of interaction. So yeah, but yeah, Fantasy Todoroki before was really required for this event. Like, I 100% agree with that. Like, he was really required, but thankfully the meta has changed, and a lot of people like using, you know, other characters like the new UR Swimsuit Uraraka, UR Red Riot Unbreakable Kirishima, also UR Winter Costume Asui. Like, you know, there are other options now, but at the end of the day, Fantasy Todoroki is still extremely good to use, and honestly, he's probably the best one to still use. But I mean, at least there's options now if you don't have Fantasy Todoroki, you know what I'm saying? So at least they gave options, you know. Also, if you didn't notice before, when I was showing my team builds and stuff like that for this event, I had a lot of critical hit memories equipped, like a lot of memories that give a higher chance of hitting critical hits, and that's actually important because during his second phase you have to hit him with a certain amount of critical hits, so that way he doesn't one-shot your whole team. I believe you need to hit at least 6 critical hits if I'm not mistaken. And yes, this boss actually has phases. You want to pay attention to his health bar, because when he hits a certain amount of HP, that's when like the next phase will begin. So the first one is at 899,550. The second one is at around 500,000. And during that phase, he will use an AoE ability that will one-shot your whole team. So this is where one of the reasons why Fantasy Todoroki comes into play here, because one of his skills gives himself and his teammates barriers that can protect them and himself from the AoE attack, which is why a lot of people said he was pretty much needed for this before. And honestly, again, I agree, because, you know, the barrier is extremely nice when, you know, your opponent can one-shot you or one-shot your whole team with one move. So that's why I definitely agree that he was really needed before. But yeah, like I said, the meta has changed though, so you can at least try to beat All For One with different units. You know, I mean, I believe, what is it? UR Red Riot Unbreakable Kirishima gives barriers. I don't know if he gives barriers to his teammates. I know he gives barriers to himself, which could be extremely useful, but, you know, again, at least there's options, you know. What else? Let me think. Also, another thing to note is if your units die from the AoE attack, it's fine, because the subs will replace them, obviously, because, you know, they're subs. But if the subs die, then the ones that died to the AoE attack will come back and replace the subs one last time, so at least you have that second chance. But you just want to pay attention to that because you want to have as many chances as possible when you're battling him. And also during this phase, during the second phase, I mentioned before when I was talking about my memories I equipped, where you need to hit him at least 6 times with a critical hit. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's 6. Or he'll one-shot your whole team. Basically what will happen is he will do another AoE attack, and that AoE attack can also one-shot your team. So if you don't hit at least 6 critical hits, again, I'm pretty sure it's at least 6 critical hits, then your whole team will get one-shot even after they survive that first, AoE attack. So, he's pretty difficult. And then during his third phase, and that's his final phase, it's at around, 199,900. During that phase, he'll hit you with his ultimate. Now, thankfully, he resets your skills, I'm pretty sure. And again, this is another case where Fantasy Todoroki comes in clutch. Like, this is the second reason why people say he's pretty much necessary, or was pretty much necessary. Again, there are other units now, but basically, again, his barriers come into play where he can give a barrier to himself and his squad, and that will protect everyone from All For One's ultimate, because again, that's just really handy. His ultimate pretty much one-shots. So those are his phases, and just more reasons why you want to run Fantasy Todoroki, honestly. But again, there are other options. Another thing also is at the end, I believe All For One also has the Last Stand ability, the one that allows the unit to live on 1 HP for a certain amount of attacks. So keep that in mind as well, because that, I remember playing this for the first time, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm about to beat him, and then I saw that he had that, and I was just like, yo, are you serious? So, he was able to just live on that 1 HP Last Stand ability, and I was like, oh my gosh, and then I died. I was like, oh. So just keep that in mind. He has that ability at the end, so, yeah. Another thing to note is, when you're battling the boss, you really want to target the Nomus first, because they actually have a limit on how many times they will respawn. So if you get rid of them at the start, you won't have to deal with them later. So, what I like to do is try to get rid of them as soon as possible. So something I could recommend is, don't worry about using your skills or ultimates. What am I trying to say here? Don't worry about wasting your skills or ultimates on the Nomu, because at the end of the day, it's not a waste. You want to get rid of them as soon as possible because you don't want them to respawn at the end. So, yeah. Oh, did we just lose? Oh my goodness. Yo, Fantasy Deku is so good. We almost lost there. He hit us with his AoE attack, but because Deku has Last Stand, where it allows him to stay alive on 1 HP, we won that by a hair. See, that's what I'm talking about. Even though I have some of the best units in the game, it comes super close, super close. At the end of the day, it just proves my point of how hard this boss is. He's an extremely hard boss, and I really like it. I like the challenge. I think that's so cool. But yeah, let's take a look at that free UR All For One you get for beating this boss. Again, it's extremely nice, and it's also pretty cool that you get a free UR of the boss you just beat. I think that's extremely cool. Like I said, I've beaten him the first time around, so I've had this All For One for a while now. I have him awakened, I have him pretty much maxed out to the point where I can get him at currently. But yeah, here's the All For One you get, with this climax battle. If you beat that difficulty level SS boss, you get this All For One for free, which is amazing. But let me know what you guys think about the climax battles down below in the comments. I think they're extremely interesting and honestly a lot of fun. They remind me of the infiltrate bosses in One Justice 2, and I really loved those ones. So I'm definitely probably going to be making more videos about these climax battles in the future. But yeah, that is the climax battle for All For One. If you guys did enjoy, please like and subscribe. That'd be really amazing. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs before the end of the year, so if you guys happen to enjoy this video at any time, please like and subscribe. That'd be really amazing. It would help me out a lot, and I would really appreciate it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.